I start by creating a cube and cutting half of it off. Then I start to shape out the head using the reference image I made. I add more edge loops to the needed areas to replicate the reference, but also taking into consideration that I need to use less polys. To make the head shape perfect, I go between edit and sculpt mode in Blender. I use the grab tool in sculpt and typically edit by vertices in the soft selection in edit mode. Extruding from the head, I continue to shape the monkey's body. I later delete a singular face on the side of the torso to extrude out the arms. Instead of following my reference image, I'm going to have the arm extrude out as a T-pose for rigging purposes later. I added another cube mesh and size it down to create the eyes, and for the speakers, the circular speakers on the ears and the belly, I added a half sphere, though I probably could have gone down in the poly count. I will just leave it as is for now. Next, I'm going to cut seams to UV my monkey. Since this model will only be using base colors, I decided not to be too worried on how I cut my seams. One thing I did take note of when cutting my UVs was to make sure the face UV was clean enough to be painted on, as this was the only part that I needed to draw on. After I cut the seams, I unwrapped all the UVs and placed them onto one UV tile. I decided to keep it on one since the character is so small to begin with, and when creating a low poly model, you don't want to have multiple texture files for a singular character. Most of the UV shells will be base colors, so I only focused on the front of the face having the most space on the UV tile. After UVing, I added a material to the model and applied a new texture image to draw on. I then placed a pinkish color for the monkey's hair and topped it with a tan color for their skin. After I was satisfied with these colors, I added black to the sphere pieces that were to resemble a speaker. After finishing the base texture for the monkey, I go back into the shading tab of Blender and delete the material shader. I then drag the image texture directly to the model so that it only displays the base color without any sort of lighting added. I use solidifying the modifiers to make a small toon outline on the model, and then I have this lovely music monkey.